Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Media. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM. This is another episode of vocabulary training. American accent twist. Of course, you can see I have my own accent, which is part American and part Indian. I've been here for a long time, and I did spend 4 years in Toastmasters in Houston. In fact, I was the president of the Unity Toastmasters, which was one of the largest Toastmasters club at that time with more than 75 members. So I learned a great deal about American accent because I wanted to learn how to communicate with my friends and co-workers. So in this presentation, we're going to learn some of the common words that are used in our everyday conversation. So let us begin. Curative. One thing is sometimes the T is not pronounced as T. It's somewhere between D like David and T like Tom. So it's curative or curative. You can say curative, or some people may, when they're going fast, you can say curative. All right, let's move on. Therapeutic. This is a medical term. Therapeutic, healthful, remedial. Remedial. Look at the middle E is stressed. Remedial. 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 Alternative. Alternative. The last E is sort of almost dropped. It is alternative. Sedative. Soothing. Your accent should be soothing to other people who are listening to you. Medicinal. Don't ever make your accent sound like medicinal to the person who is standing across you. That's going to be bitter or bitter. B-I-T-T-E-R. Whenever you have double T, it becomes a D. It's going to be bitter. You don't say bitter, you just say bitter. You just say bitter. Medicinal, spiritual. Yes, indeed. Your accent should have some sort of a spiritual connection. Then you feel like it is coming from your heart, coming from your soul. Complete. You should enunciate every syllable when you are talking. This is how the news reporters report the information. They don't eat up the syllables. Complete. What do you mean by complete? Complete. That's the way to say it. When you say complete, that's a poor word. Oh, here's a word poor. That's a poor word. All right. Physical. Okay, you don't have to get physical with me. All right. Let's settle down. Let's sit down and think calmly and see what we need to do. All right? Don't get physical with me. That's what. Rapid. Rapid fire is good for people who can understand our thoughts. When we have an accent to start with, rapid is not the name of the game. The name of the game is to be able to be clear, succinct, and distinct so they can hear what we are trying to say. You follow what I mean? Spontaneous. Your accent has to be spontaneous. It doesn't seem like you're spontaneous. You're struggling, like, you're straining. You shouldn't be. Your accent has to be spontaneous. Primary. Always make it your primary goal to learn the American accent on words in communication. Mental. No, don't think I'm mental. You have to think mentally before you talk. Miraculous. When people listen to your accent, they should say, how miraculously you have changed your accent. This is what happens when I am here in this country. They say, oh man, you got an Indian accent. Oh man, he got an Indian accent. But when I go to India, say, hey man, you changed quite a bit. You sound like an American. I said, I'm a man with no land or no language or no accent. Anyway, let's move on. Let's be traditional. Let's keep all our words traditional with American accent. Psychic. No, you don't need any psychic power to learn American accent. All you need to do is train your muscles, listen to the other people, and repeat it so many times that it becomes almost second nature. Emotional. There's no reason to get emotional if somebody tell you, man, you got an accent. I said, who cares? You also have an accent. At least I'm trying to learn your accent, so you should be thankful. Inner. Yes, we have to go with our inner feelings, inner gut feelings, as they call it in America. Corneal. You know what corneal means? That's the white, that's the little lens covering that we see in the eye. That's the cornea, the central transparent lens or the covering. Sick. If anybody says, man, you got an accent, I say, you're sick. Psychological. Tell him, you need a psychological examination because everybody in this country is an immigrant and everybody has their accent. So you need a psychological examination if you are making fun of someone else's accent. Adequate. Adequate training is important to improve your accent. You're just not going to get it by saying it once or twice. You got to keep repeating it in everyday conversation so that it becomes second nature. So you're not straining. It is coming to you spontaneously and it is coming to you with that spiritual uplifting. All right, let's move on. Epithelial. This is the lining cells. For example, in the lungs. The little air sacs, they have these epithelial cells that line, which exchange oxygen from the air into the blood. Anyway, let's move on. Holistic. Yes, you have to have a holistic approach to your learning process. You just can't study for one day and think that you're an expert. They think you're mental. You follow what I mean? Distant. Don't distant. Soft. Yes, it's good to have a soft, gentle voice. Satisfactory. It has to be satisfactory to you. You are not there to please anybody. You cannot please somebody who doesn't want to be pleased. So don't worry about those kinds of people. You think about satisfying yourself. If you can satisfy yourself, you can have a good night's sleep. Post-operative, that is following the surgery. Herbal. Happy. If you are not happy today, when are you going to be happy? The happiness is something that comes from inside. It is not something that you can buy in the market or borrow it from your friend. Looking on the Facebook is not going to make you happy. In fact, it is going to make you cry. It is going to make you feel sick because everyone is putting up the so-called American front, which is like everything is beautiful in their life. You don't know what's happening in their backyard. So, happiness is something that comes from inside. Good, yes. Periodontal, that's around the teeth. Magical, yes. Your accent has to be magical. It has to be spiritual. It has to be spontaneous. You see what I mean? Optimal. You have to have an optimal voice. You have to have an optimal volume of your voice. You can't be screaming at the top of your head or optimal. That's not going to optimal. You have to have that amount of force so that people can follow what you're trying to say. Don't be sudden. Take your time. no rush, cutaneous, paralytic. If someone criticizes you, don't feel like you're paralyzed. You're not. What they are saying is their opinion. It has nothing to do with you about what you do or how you feel. Don't let someone paralyze your emotions, your feelings. Incomplete, mucosal, prompt, symbolic, fetal, joyful, instantaneous. Your accent has to come out instantaneously. It's similar to the word spontaneous. Instantaneous means you're not even thinking. It is just automatically coming, like I'm doing right now. See, I'm not thinking every word and every syllable. It's just flowing out because I got a crazy brain. That's how it works. Absent. You have to be sort of absent-minded when you are having a conversation in terms of you're not focused. You shouldn't be focusing on, oh, what if I say this? They're not going to like it. What if I don't say it? They're going to feel, make fun of me. I said, who cares? You are there to live your life. Just live it to your fullest satisfaction. That's another word, satisfaction. Epidermal. You should never let other people's feelings scrape your epidermal surface, skin. That means you shouldn't let other people skin you. You got the message? Whenever you speak, you have to be crystal clear. That's the most important thing. You see, people are watching you, your facial expressions, your lip movements, your eye contact, and your body language. They are watching every bit of it because accent is not just about saying words. It is how we put our whole body into expressing how we actually feel. See what I mean? Eventually you're going to learn the accent which you feel comfortable, which you feel confident, which will enable you to be you, not someone else. You can never be someone else. You can only be you. You can make it a better you of yourself. Uneventful, metaphysical, gratifying. I tell you, when you have a good conversation with somebody, sitting across the table at a dinner and sipping some wine and enjoying the evening, there is nothing more gratifying than that. Supernatural. Again, you don't need to be supernatural. You don't need to be mental. You don't need to be having a sort of a stress to say things naturally. Say it naturally. It doesn't have to be supernatural. Moist. Uncomplicated. Accent training is uncomplicated. Don't make it complicated. Don't stress yourself. Don't try to overdo it. Just be natural. Slower. Osseous. Osseous means it's part of the bone. Duodenal is part of the intestine, the stomach and the stomach. Anastomotic or anastomotic. Again, this T becomes, when it's between vowels, the T sometimes sounds like a little altered D. But you are between D like David and T like Tom. David and Tom, David and Tom, David and Tom. So anastomotic. So it's sort of in between. Instant. Energetic. There should be some energetic expression in your voice. You just can't say energetic. Where is the energy, man? Energetic. Defective. Yes, they're going to tell you you're defective. Who cares? I don't care. I don't care for your opinion any more than you care for my opinion. So we are even. Improved. We can always continue to improve our expression. As I told you, expression is more than just saying a word. Expression is about you expressing your feelings through your face, muscles, jaw, lips, hands, shoulders, body language, smile, eye contact, you name it. When you do all these things, you will have an enhanced accent which will enable you to communicate in a very meaningful manner with anybody at any level. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will see you next time.